Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter, helps you find and retain better prospects. He speaks more than 100 times per year and is known for his high content, high energy keynotes. His proven sales strategies are used daily by thousands of salespeople around the world. He is the author of High Profit Prospecting and the soon-to-be-released book, High Profit Prospecting, Powerful Strategies to Find the Best Leads and Drive Breakthrough Sales Results.
Hello, my name is Mark Hunter. I'm known as the Sales Hunter. What I want to share with you are how do we qualify leads faster? Now, why do I want to qualify leads faster? Is because I want to spend my time with fewer prospects. Think about that for a moment. I want you to spend more time with fewer prospects. Now, where am I going with this? What happens is we get prospects, we get leads, we qualify them, they become prospects, but they muddy up the pipeline. I don't necessarily want a big fat pipeline. I want a fast moving pipeline. Because when I can sit here and spend more time with fewer prospects, I have a greater ability to actually close more deals and close them faster. So what does this mean? I've got to be able to qualify you as a prospect much, much faster. And I've got to take you, if you're not a prospect, and get you out of my pipeline. Now, where does this go? What does this mean? What this means is very simply this. I've got to be much more direct, upfront, early on in the sales call, looking to uncover needs. Now, the biggest problem that salespeople have is they're in a race to qualify you, so they start putting words into the mouth of the prospect. Don't. This absolutely destroys the whole process. Because now what you're doing is they're just playing a game with you. They're just playing a game with you to potentially get you off the telephone or get you out of their office. What I want to be doing is, this is where I want to be asking open-ended questions earlier in the prospecting process. Now, this makes some salespeople very uncomfortable, but I'm a very strong believer in asking the open questions. And the open questions are not what's keeping you awake at night. That's stupid. How's the weather? That's stupid. Stupid. What I got to be asking is I got to be asking critical questions relative to their business if I'm in B2B. I've got to be asking critical questions relative to their industry, to what's happening in their area. That's what, because my objective is to get you dialoguing. Now, let's use this scenario that I'm dealing with you on the telephone. And I want to view you, the person I'm talking to on the telephone, as really nothing more than a bobblehead doll. My whole objective is to get, you know what those bobblehead dolls are? You know, you tap that little head keeps springing and boom, 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 boom. Yeah. My whole objective is to tap your head, get you engaged, and keep you moving. Now, what does this mean? This means my first question has got to engage you, the prospect. Because my whole objective is this. Before I end this call, I want you to have shared with me a critical need that you have that I can validate and really build upon. Now, the critical need is not what I tell you. The critical need is what you tell me. And this is where I think more salespeople fall apart because we've helped other companies do this and wouldn't it be nice if you could achieve this? And wouldn't it be nice? What are you doing? You're putting words in the customer's mouth. So the question is this. I have to ask them a question that gets them engaged. And the question that I like to ask connects their company with their industry. Now, here's why I like this. And I found this to be very, very effective. When I ask you a question relative to your company and you don't know me, that's you're probing a little deep, a little fast. But you're asking me a question relative to my company and the industry, it's a little more neutral. And see, so what I do is I will ask a question that ties in your company with the industry. You're going to share with me a piece of information, and then I can swing that back in. Okay, let's walk through. How does this work? Okay, you might be selling software. Okay, and you're talking to who you believe is the decision maker. You're not quite positive, but you can ask them. And you can ask them the question, what are some of the things that you're seeing some of your competitors doing out there? Just ask them a question. And again, you just take a moment, you know just a little bit about the industry. It takes about a second. And you just ask them a question. And all you're doing is you're getting them to share. And you're saying, well, they're doing this or they're doing that. And you say, really? Well, what kind of results do you think they're achieving? Or is that successful? All I'm doing is I'm tapping the bobblehead doll. You see what I'm doing? I'm tapping the bobblehead doll and I'm getting them engaged. So then I can come back and I can share, are those the similar type of results as to what you would expect in your company? Now that's a closed question because you can answer that with a yes or no. I know, I love that. But you see what I've done now is I've asked an open question out here in the industry, brought it back with a closed question to frame it, and now I can say, okay, so how do you think that would roll out in your company? Or what do you think? You see what I'm doing is I am not selling. I'm looking for them to share with me what their outcomes are. Now, here's the whole premise that I'm going with this. We qualify faster when we position ourselves that our whole objective is not to sell you, but to get you to see why you need to invest with me. Because the value I'm going to bring is going to exceed the amount that you would actually have to pay. Okay? What does that mean? I'm helping you achieve an outcome that you didn't think was possible. You see, so now let's start framing this up here. I ask you this question relative to the industry. Open question. I frame it with a closed question. I come back here. I'm going to ask one or two more questions on that. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Because what I want to do is I want to uncover that critical need. And I'm going to say, hey, great. I've got some ideas, got some solutions. Now, depending on your selling process, you may continue with that conversation, or you might say, you know what we want to do is we all want to just set up a time to meet. We want to set up a time to discuss. What's your calendar look like for next Tuesday, 2 o'clock? I am not going to proceed with you until you've uncovered for me what that critical need is. Here's what happens. Too many times, salespeople have a conversation. Well, I didn't really find anything out, but they kind of like me. So then what do? You spend another cycle and you call them back again, and you call them back again, and you call them back again, and you keep calling them back again, and you're not going anywhere. What I want to do is I want to take those people that aren't going anywhere, get them off of my selling time, so I can focus on my big hitters. You see, what I want to do is I want to structure my entire prospecting calendar, both my month, my week, and my day, around spending the highest priority on those prospects that I've got the highest potential with. You see how this works? You see, too many times what happens is we set the calendar up and we start dialing, we start calling. Right? Well, I got to call these leads. These are new leads that came in. I got to call and qualify them. And what I'm saying is, no, I'm doing the inverse. I'm doing the complete inverse. I'm calling first. I'm reaching out to first those who I've already had this discussion with to qualify, to move them further down the pipeline. Now, what am I trying to do here? My whole objective is, I've had this initial conversation. I'm just going to walk you through a scenario. I've had this initial conversation with you. You've shared with me this critical need, and we've agreed to meet again. I come back and I agree with meeting again. What I want to do now is I want to, in this second call, uncover what is the timeline for making a decision? Am I dealing with the decision maker? What is their value of money? I'm going to qualify those on the next call. Now, some of you might say, I can't do that. Why not? Because you're not asking. And the questions you ask are this. How have you made decisions like this in the past? I love asking that question. Here's why. What that does is I ask this when the customer still feels they're in the prospecting phase. I get truth. If I wait and ask that question when the customer feels we're selling to them and we're right at that negotiating phase, it's amazing how I get a different answer. You see, how have you made decisions like this in the past? Because my objective is on the second call to uncover what's their timeline for making a decision, am I dealing with the decision maker, and what's their value of money? Now, the value of money is really important because here's the whole thing. I don't want to go any further if I'm Nordstrom's and I'm dealing with a Walmart shopper. I can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer. It's not going to happen. I'm going to get those up. Now, some people say, Mark, you're going to blow. No, I'm not. I'm not going to blow. Because you know what? The people you blow off are probably the ones you would never get anyway. So guess what? I'm allowing myself to be focused on the prospects I have the greatest opportunity, the greatest potential to be able to close with. Because now what I want to do is now I want to be able to have that real meaningful discussion to be able to say, hey, let's optimize the outcome of this. Optimize the outcome for you, the customer, and optimize the outcome for me in terms of profit and long-term customer relationship. You see, my whole mantra for this year, so to speak, is my objective is to spend more time with fewer prospects. Because what I want to do is I want to create a pipeline that is as fast moving as possible. When I have that pipeline as fast moving as possible, what happens is I'm getting sales rolling through at a continuous pace. And you know what's interesting? When I'm getting sales coming through at a continuous pace, ooh, that jazzes me, that excites me. And it gives me even more confidence as I continue to talk with my prospects. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Great sharing with you because sales is without a doubt the greatest profession. Because you know what we get to do? We get to help our customers see and achieve things that they did not think were possible. To me, that is the ultimate profession, and that's why I love sales. Great selling.